Well, Donald Trump's Middle East envoy says US strikes on Houthi rebels in Yemen over the weekend should serve as a warning to Hamas in Gaza as ceasefire talks with Israel stall. Middle East correspondent Matthew Doran is in Jerusalem.
On Saturday night local time, US fighter jets took to the skies over Yemen, hitting Houthi rebel targets in the Yemeni capital and beyond. Donald Trump says the attacks were in response to Houthi aggression in the Red Sea, targeting and disrupting international shipping channels. The Houthis had launched those missions in revenge for Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza. Just as there's that connection, the US Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, says there's a tie between the US's actions against the Houthis and what could happen in Gaza. Steve Witkoff's comments to CNN coming as negotiations for the ceasefire, the ongoing ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, having stalled.
What happened with the Houthis yesterday, what happened with our strike ought to inform as to where we stand with regard to terrorism and our tolerance level for terrorist actions. And I would encourage Hamas to get much more sensible than how they have been.
On Friday, Hamas proposed releasing the American-Israeli hostage Edan Alexander, along with the bodies of 4 dual nationals killed whilst in captivity. In exchange for that, Israel would free more Palestinians from the nation's jails. The IDF would withdraw from the patch of land along the Gaza-Egypt border known as the Philadelphia Corridor, and there would be an immediate start to the negotiations for Phase 2 of the ceasefire, looking at a lasting peace in Gaza. But Steve Witkoff says that proposal was a non-starter.
I'm not going to go into the specific details of what made it unacceptable, but it was totally unacceptable. I think there's an opportunity for them, but the opportunity is closing fast.
Israel is still pinning itself to a proposal for the release of more Israeli hostages immediately as the first phase of that ceasefire is extended through April and has sent its negotiators on the instructions of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Cairo to press that point. The ceasefire is technically still in force, although more than a dozen Palestinians in Gaza have been killed over the weekend. The IDF claiming it was targeting terrorists, local health authorities and the families of some victims disputing that. The US strikes against the Houthis are likely to continue for a number of days, and the American president has also issued a warning to Iran to stop backing the Houthis or risk the consequences. In response, the leader of Iran's Revolutionary Guard has said that the Houthis act independently of Tehran, although he is promising that any threat against Iran would be met with a decisive and devastating response.